give your views on researched issues. So now I'm going to give a bird's eye view. When you talk of land and politics, is it only land? Or in the word land are other things intertwined? Today I read in the papers that in Maharashtra there is only one school that has as its medium the Gond language, and that too is being closed down. So language is part of land, and disposition from language and disposition from land cannot be dissociated. They are all part of one thing. That is it was a very scary thing that I read today. Next, I'll talk about a story that I have translated. Recently that is my second career after retirement. I translate. And this is a story that Mr. Imayam has translated. இமயமோட கதை தண்டகாரண்யத்தில் சீதை அப்படிங்கிற கதை. It's a very important long short story. In that, Sita asks, why are you carrying this weapon? For whom? This forest belongs to them, the Adivasis. How can you displace them? He gives some answer. This question is there in the Ramayana, Kadaliye irukku. It's not something that Mr. Imayam has invented. So she asks the question that the rightful owners and the rightful occupants of this place are being displaced. So that is there in the literature. I am not looking at it as a religious book. I am looking at it as a literature which records what the original writer saw around him. That is why he puts that question in. It's very important in the woman's voice. And she says, once you carry a weapon, your nature will change. She makes two very important statements. Both of them are not அதுக்கு செவி மடுக்கல, அது கதை. ஆனால் அந்த கேள்வியை அந்த பெண் எழுப்புகிறார். இன்னொன்று, மிஸ்டர் இமயம், because I have translated, and now I'm translating his fourth book, we talk often on the phone. And once he said that I learnt about many of this literature, Ramayanam or Mahabharatam or anything, only after I turned 20. So he said, if you look at it as just literature, that is a loss. So I am looking at disposition from land, disposition from language, disposition from education, all of which have happened to the people whom we are talking about today. And that is a great disempowerment. And one leads to another and one is linked to another. Possession of land gives a sense of security. That's undeniable. I'm not talking of possession in name. We all heard just now about how there are women who are in possession in name. We also know of many women in power in name. That takes us nowhere. And there are some nominal. நாங்கள் கூட ஒரு பெண்ணை அந்த பதவியில் வச்சிட்டோம். எங்கள் போர்ட் ஆஃப் கம்பெனியில் கூட there is one that is, sorry to say, eyewash. It must be an empowered presence of the woman. Yeah? So when I'm talking of possession of land, I'm talking of real possession. Total autonomy, total control over that land. That gives a sense of security. Not only does it give sense of security, Along with it comes the right to dignity. By disposition of land, by permanently treating people as just laborers or coolies or whatever you may call them, we actually strip people of their dignity, which is contrary to the Constitution. We have no right to do that. And when we say we the people, it's not we, one small group of people. It means we, ellarum, we the people of India. Everyone is included, and not just those who were there at that time. It is forever. You were all not born then, but you are included in that we, the people of India. So we have no right to take away the dignity of anybody, and we are entitled not to let anybody strip our dignity. And disposition of land is stripping the dignity of people. This is a poem that I quoted in the judgment that Justice Chandru just now referred, which came up in appeal before the bench against his judgment, because there Panchami lands were in possession of a private group, and he said that those alienation are void, and that private group came up in appeal before us. There I quoted this poet. It is the poet Namdev Dasal. I read only the translation, and I will read the translation. O guardian angel of those who ruin our life cycle, return to us our farms and fields. Nullify the fraudulent change of land that robbed us of our lands. Punish the landowners and the feudal lords, who caste and money have made powerful and arrogant. End once for all this age of exhaustion. It's sad, but it's also courageous. He says he's exhausted. I mean, when he says I'm exhausted, he's talking of so many years of deprivation, of being outside, of not being given what is rightfully one's due. I am not an academic scholar, and you will all hear about it. I just want to know if any land distributed under the original, after the Tremen Here came and all that, any of them was it distributed to even one single woman? I think not. Because even the clauses say that it can be alienated only to his legal heirs. I know in statute we say his means her, man means woman and all that, but I think here that his is really his. I don't think even one bit of land was distributed to a woman under this distribution. There is a great judge called Claire Leroux Dubé of Canada. She says, equality ஒரு மொழியா பாருங்கங்கறாங்க. Look at equality as a language. Okay? Now, if you go to some country where you don't know the language and somebody asks you, are you equal? No, I don't know about the question that they ask. I don't know, yeah, because I don't know that language. So I blink. So she says, equality is also a language. Equality has its grammar. ஈக்குவாலிட்டிக்கு நெளிவு சுழிவு எல்லாம் இருக்கு. அதுக்கு ஒரு பரந்த ஒரு ஃபார்ம் இருக்கு. அதை நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கலனாக்க then we are ignorant of that language. The fact that today we have to have such detailed discussion, day-long discussion, only proves that that language of equality has not been learnt by us. More than 75 years have passed, but sadly we have not learned that language. Land means many things to us. Its ownership, As I said, an inherent plus is dignity. It means work. I need not say what that means to people. It means economic opportunities. One works, one grows crops, sees it grow, one earns. But land also means caste, class, and status. Correct, Tane? All the three went with certain determinable people. And the tillers, those who sweated, very often did not fall into these groups. This was not so always. When I say always, I mean long, long ago, which is shrouded in amnesia. Then it belonged to the ones who are denied now. But later, so many things happened and people were deprived. I read that in the 66th National Sample Survey Report, I mean, you can all correct me if I'm wrong. As I said, I'm not an academician. Only 17.1% of the scheduled caste population own their agricultural land, and this is not proportionate to their numbers. 7.1, not 17.1. Okay. Dr. Ambedkar says this is a struggle for reclamation of human personality. When you look at it like that, land takes a huge, and the word used, Parlamatala Vishwarupam. Correct? It's not land, it's land. It's my personality, it's my language, it's my literature, it's my education, it's my life, it's my everything. In an article by Madhur Satya, she says that because men move to cities, I'm not sure this is right, I'm just quoting from her. Most of these villages of northern Tamil Nadu, the Panchami movement is predominantly woman-led. And she says that these women form collectives to help the elderly and the widows get their pensions on time and to run awareness programs. What does this mean? This means women ownership is more democratic. And so the more women ownership percentage increases, most of the inequality and the injustices that we see today and that we are fighting today and we have to fight I will not say cease because it's not magic, but it will definitely decrease. Because women understand sharing, women understand what it is to be excluded. Women of every group are doubly discriminated. A woman, Dalit, a woman with a disability, a woman with anything, you think of a group which is discriminated, the women in that group will be doubly discriminated. And that is why it is very important that women are given the possession and total control of land. But that itself is contrary to not just the politics of this country, politics everywhere. I think whenever we talk of majoritarian groups, it is actually anti-woman. Because women have a very small size of the pie. Whether it's social, economic, financial, political, you give it whatever adjective you want, women have a smaller size of the pie. And therefore, when we talk of land and politics, I don't think we can ignore or turn our eyes away from women ownership. And we must look at land as a whole, WHOLE, and see it in all its perspectives, with all its facets, with all the facets that increase the dignity of a human being. I am really honored, Shivakami, that you invited me today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Justice Chandru, land as a means of production அப்படின்னு விளக்கம் கொடுக்கும்போது ஜஸ்டிஸ் பிரபா ஸ்ரீதேவன் இன்னும் விரிவா நிலம் என்பது அது ஒரு மீன்ஸ் ஆஃப் ப்ரொடக்ஷன் மட்டும் இல்லை, அது வந்து லாங்குவேஜ், ஒரு மொழி, மக்களுடைய அடிப்படை ஆதாரம் அப்படிங்கிறத அவங்க வந்து விளக்கமாக சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. லேண்ட் அஸ் அ லைவ்லிஹுட்னு சிவகாமி மேம் சொன்னதை வந்து அவங்க இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் விரிவாக அதை கொஞ்சம் டீட்டெயில் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அது வந்து இன்ஹெரண்ட் டிக்னிட்டி அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. அது ஓனர்ஷிப் இருக்கணும், அதில் கண்ட்ரோல் இருக்கணும். அதில் வந்து அந்த பெண் வந்து முழுமையாக அதனுடைய சுதந்திரத்திலே அதனுடைய விளைச்சலை அவர்கள் பார்க்கணும். கிராப்ஸ் க்ரோ, அதாவது பயிர்கள் விளைவதை அவர்கள் பார்ப்பதே அது ஒரு நிலத்திற்கான ஒரு 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 விளக்கத்தில் அவங்க உட்படும் அப்படிங்கிறத மிக விரிவா. நிலம் என்பது வெறும் ஒரு பொருள் மட்டுமில்லை, அது தாண்டி அதனுடைய மக்களுடைய வாழ்க்கையோட பின்னி பிணைந்தது, இயற்கையோட பின்னி பிணைந்தது. அது அந்த நிலத்தில் வாழும் மக்களுக்கு மறுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அது மறுக்கப்பட்டது மீட்டெடுக்கப்பட வேண்டும் அப்படிங்கிறது நமக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப விளக்கமா அவங்க விரிவா சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. இதனுடைய தமிழாக்கம் எல்லோருக்கும் கிடைக்கும் புதிய கோடங்கி மூலமாக. மிக்க நன்றி. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் மேம் ஃபார் கிவிங் திஸ் கிளாரிட்டி.